Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast. By the faithful and for the faithful, I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here tonight with my friend, Bruce McCurdy. Welcome, Bruce.
Hey, David. How are you doing tonight?
6-1 Leafs, and that was
6-2,
6-2, and that was one heck of a hard lesson for the Oilers in modern NHL hockey, how it's played, how fast it is. The Oilers were completely and utterly outclassed in that game. Their defense was shredded. Their forwards were shredded. Their goalie was shredded. The Oilers were shredded. Bruce, this is our two good things, two bad things, and two numbers podcast. What was your good thing?
Well, my good thing, I got to go early when the game was fit to watch, when the Oilers came out in the first period and had a pretty strong opening 15 or so minutes. But the highlight by far was that beautiful goal by Leon Draisaitl, where they were on the power play. McDavid dropped him the puck in the neutral zone, and Draisaitl came in. He beat, first of all, Jake Muzzin with a power move 1-on-1. Then he beat Ron Hainsey with a power move 1-on-1. And it would have been a beautiful goal if he scored on the original shot, but in some ways it was more beautiful that he didn't, because he was stuffed on his original shot, and then he made this sensational play to kick the puck up from his skate right onto the stick on the edge of the post and tuck it inside. That was a high skill play on about 8 different levels, and Leon's doing things to grab our attention many nights. I mean, he's now 15 goals in his last 15 games. That is a major heater.
That was a really nice play.
Was it ever?
Fantastic play, and gave all Oilers fans hope. Some of the few ones that are still holding out hopes they could actually make the playoffs somehow had their little moment there. Of course, there was a moment about 6 minutes before then that it was kind of a foreshadowing of the game, when first Clefbaum, then Larson, then Draisaitl all got beat by Patrick Marleau.
Oh, right.
On the same play, and he went in there and almost scored.
They got a save that time.
They got a save from Koskinen there. I mean, yeah, not a great game from Koskinen, that's for sure. Okay, my good thing, Bruce, was the Oilers, what do you want to call it, third line, fourth line? Josh Curry, Milan Lucic, and Colby Cave. Milan Lucic made major contributions to 5 grade A chances. That line was buzzing all night. They couldn't score, but they were the one Oilers line that had it really going on. They seemed to have some chemistry. Josh Curry continues to impress with both a bit of grit and a bit of skill. And I would say the same thing of Cave. And it's looking like that might be the fourth line for next year. Like, if that is the fourth line, they could do worse than that. Those guys have put together a run of decent games. And they got a little bit of everything. I don't mind them, Bruce. They're slow.
A little bit of finish would be nice.
Yeah.
That's the one thing they seem to be a little shy of at the moment.
Okay, it's a fourth line, though, so I'm going to...
Okay, bottom 6 line, for sure.
Unfortunately, the Oilers had another fourth line that was absolutely ghastly, and which was worse and slower, with Brodziak and Malone and Cassian. Man, they just got nothing done that line. And yeah. Anyway, that was my good thing, was the play of that line. It's been a little bit encouraging, and they're also, Cave and Curry are both smart players, desperate to make the NHL, just the right age, 25, 26, to be fourth line guys and help out for a couple of years. And if Lucic is going to be on the team next year, I suspect he will be, because I don't think they're going to be able to move him. I don't see, honestly, maybe on every fan of every team who's got a bad contract is looking at Ottawa right now and thinking, oh, we'll just move that contract. We'll just move David Backes we'll just move Milan Lucic. We'll just move whoever else has got a terrible contract.
It'd be easier to move the Hoba meteorite than it will be to move Milan Lucic's contract. I'm sorry. And the Hoba meteorite is the largest meteorite in the world, 60 tons. That's never been moved from its original landing spot. That created an amphitheater around it. But
where is that?
It's in Namibia.
Namibia. All right. Well,
that might be where you want to trade Lucic, but that contract isn't going anywhere. I don't think it's just too in ground in that spot.
can we trade him to Namibia? All right. That's a nasty thing for me to say. Sorry. He had a really good game.
He played well.
And he's been playing okay. If you don't ask him, he's okay in a fourth line role. Milan Lucic can play fourth line in the NHL still. He doesn't kill your team, and he's a tough guy. It's good to have the tough guy.
Had some nice passes in this game.
Yeah. So that was. So anyway. I'm sorry about that. That was a little bit.
Anyway, well,
too much. Even
probably could move that contract a little quicker than that meteorite, but it's in that range. Man, oh man.
Okay. Since I'm saying bad things already, I'll just go right to my bad thing. I just thought Oscar Klefbom, Adam Larson, and Darnell Nurse were atrocious tonight. All three of them.
Turnstile City, man.
Klefbom, man, he just got whipped on the second and the third goals. Not
same shift, eh?
Geez, yeah. Once with Larson and once with Benning as co-accomplices on the plays. He and Nurse, come on, man, move the puck. Hit people on the tape. Just don't give it away. Mm-hmm. He's starting to. I don't know. I guess he can play in the top four. I think on a winning NHL team, but he's got to be. He can't be. You can't have. I'm coming to the conclusion, Bruce. You can't have him and Chris Russell on the same pairing because neither of them move the puck well enough.
Yeah,
and it's a huge problem on the Oilers right now. It's a problem on the Oilers right now. Not both of them are fine players as your fourth demon on the team, but neither of them has the puck moving sense and skills to work together well on a pairing. And they've got to have, unfortunately, Caleb Jones, I think, is going to be ready for next year and maybe even in a top four role. Maybe, he's playing the right side, I believe, in the Bakersfield. Jones has been. Maybe he and Nurse will be that pairing next year for the Oilers. But, man, those guys, they just struggled all night.
Nurse got 2 assists tonight, though. That next contract's getting more expensive by the month. He's got the quietest. I don't know. Racking up the cheap points.
Yeah,
I think he's up to 33, 7 and 26, something like that.
It's very misleading because he is not a smart or strong offensive player at this point. He just isn't. And
he gets involved and stuff happens. And
he has his
sometimes it's good stuff, yeah. But he's not exactly what you would call a quarterback on the power play.
And it's not like I don't like Darnell. I like his game. I like Chris Russell's game. It's just together, it's not working, and it hasn't been, and it's not going to. So I've come to that conclusion. I mean, Nurse is far enough along in his career. This is Nurse, and Russell certainly is Russell. And together, that's not happening. And they've got to, it's going to be interesting. I think Chris Russell's movable. I think he's a useful hockey player. Maybe he just needs to be on the third pairing with someone else that can really move the puck as well. Russell and I don't know, Ethan Bear, Evan Bouchard, something like that. But together, it's not. They don't got it going on. Okay, what's your bad thing?
Well, there's so much bad to choose from. I mean, to riff off what you said earlier in the podcast, I had a tweet after the second period where I said, silver lining is that other than the terrible net minding, terrible defending, terrible offending, terrible power play, and terrible penalty kill, that was actually a pretty fine period for the Oilers. I mean, it was just across the board bad. So what I'm going to do is go off the board. And the bad thing to me as a hockey fan is seeing this game tonight that matches up the 2 highest paid performers, entertainers, players in the National Hockey League, and Connor McDavid and John Tavares. And it seemed like for much of the game that one of them's big primary responsibility was to shut down the other one and to make as little as possible happen when the two of them are on the ice. So you're going to pay each of those guys in the 8 figures, charge exorbitant ticket prices so fans can come to the game and watch them just try and shut each other down. How about playing some hockey? And I get that it worked for the Leafs and sour grapes coming from me, but tonight it pissed me off.
Yeah, they did get that one favorable call when Morgan Riley totally blocked McDavid coming.
Well, it was brutal. Call that shit. Come on.
Yeah, call it. And things like that can change the game, right? If that's a penalty, then suddenly that changes the game, right? Suddenly there's a message saying you can't do that.
Colby Cave bumps the guy at the blue line, and it's a penalty, and it's a power play, and it's a power play goal. But
just because Muzzin yells
the guy
loudly,
can grab McDavid and block his direction for 2 or 3 seconds.
I guess McDavid should have brayed like a donkey, like Muzzin did after he got hit. That's what got that penalty. That's why it was called.
Yeah, I heard a couple of penalties. It was Leaf players reacting. One of them got high stick, and he legitimately did get high stick, and you could hear him yelp, and that was real. But still, anyway, those are all sour grapes. The Oilers got clubbed. I mean, I'm just.
Yeah, the Leafs were amazing. They were really good. The Leafs were fast and dangerous and scary looking.
For most of the game.
Now, Bruce, here's the problem. That strategy seems to work against McDavid. Vancouver does it too, and they usually do it with Kadri, and it seems to work. So
they counterattack and score against the Oilers when the Oilers are trying to push the play.
So that's up to McDavid and his
Hitchcock.
line mates and Hitchcock and and his line mates to figure that out. I mean, I wasn't particularly impressed with either Nugent Hopkins or Gagner. And McDavid didn't have a good game either. None of them did. They were all.
No, Nuge. He scored a nice goal with a real nice second effort, but boy, did he have some rotten shifts in this game.
Yeah.
Bad passes, getting beat on odd man rushes. Anyway.
Okay, my number is 6. I'm going back to Oscar Klefbom on this. This is the number of major mistakes on grade A scoring chances, 3 at even strength and 3 on the penalty kill. He just had a brutal night.
And 3 of them that wound up in actual goals. I have the same.
Yeah. It was a hell of a horrible night for Oscar Klefbom. And perhaps he's playing hurt again. I mean, this is reminiscent of the Klefbom who played hurt.
He got hacked in the sore hand at the end of the last game. Remember, he missed the end of the game, and he came back and played tonight. I was sure it was his hand that was the problem. Like, he just seemed to be reading the play wrong, but he was just off his game a little bit.
Yeah, he was. And
he had a tough game.
What's your number?
Well, kind of a series of numbers, but it's all related. The mini games from tonight. First 15 minutes, the Oilers outshot Toronto 13-2, outscored them 1-0. The last 5 minutes, the Oilers 5 minutes and 10 seconds, but let's call it 5 minutes. The Oilers outshot Toronto 9-0, and outscored them 1-0. Problem was the 40 minutes in between the 15-minute mark of the first period and the 15-minute mark of the third period, during which time Toronto outshot Edmonton 34-14 and outscored them 6-0. And obviously that was the hockey game. I mean, usually if you score first and score last, you're in pretty good shape, right? Well, in a 6-2 game, it doesn't really much matter who scores when. We got whipped.
Yeah, if there was ever an exclamation point, like this is another one about the Oilers' lack of skill, and I've been harping about this: lack of speed, lack of skill. I mean, I hear Craig Simpson on Oilers now talk about their lack of kind of compete, and Hitchcock goes on about the lack of kind of hustling and compete and defensive. But I honestly don't think that that's necessarily it, Bruce, with this team. They got whole lines that can't score. They got whole sides of the ice of players on the sides that, who can't score. They do not have nearly enough skill to be a playoff team right now. And that's the problem on this team. And man, Toronto just showed that with their flash and dash and ability to move the puck around fast and put it in the net. The Oilers, and it's getting skill, high level skill. Good luck with that. It's not easy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Fortunately, I mean, there's some young players who have some skill. Are they going to go with them? Are they going to play them over Brodziak next year and over
I got to
Malone? And are we going to see Marody and Benson? Are we going to see what the hell's going to happen? Jesse Puljujärvi, is he going to develop? I mean, it's hard to know with Puljujärvi.
Well, they got to infuse some youth in the team. I mean, tonight there's 2 Oilers on the ice under the age of 24, and those were Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. They don't have another single young player currently on the team. I mean, Puljujärvi is on the roster, but he's on injured reserve, and everybody else is like, so they're bringing in 25, 26-year-old guys that are maybe borderline entry-level players, but where's the upside, right? It's not like they're going to keep on improving for 4 or 5 years, and the way a 21 or 22-year-old player might. And the teams that the Oilers are playing against, they always seem to have a few guys that are, not necessarily 18, but 21.
Well, do you think Jay Woodcroft has a chance to be the Oilers coach next year, Bruce?
I would put the chances at non-zero, but close to zero. I think his situation is unfortunate. They know there'd be a lot of blowback if they went to Woodcroft, and I'm not sure even it would be entirely deserved. He's shown a lot this year, but we'll see. He's a lot of people would say he needs another couple of years down there, and I mean, let's compare him to how long was John Cooper in the minors before he got called up. I think more than 1 year.
I don't know. We could Google that.
Or Dallas Aikens, like he's been chomping at the bit for a second chance for a good long time now. Like it's.
I'm not suggesting that he should be. I'm just.
No, I mean, I think they have to. Like, I think he put in an application for the job. If it came open, that would only be due diligence on his part to do it, and on their part to interview him, and the whole 9 yards. But in ideal world, he's down there in Bakersfield for the next couple more years.
John Cooper was in the AHL for 3 years.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and that makes sense with Woodcroft as well. The only idea that I like about that is sometimes when you promote the minor league guy, he knows the players there, he trusts them, and he's willing to give them a chance.
Sure worked for John Cooper, didn't it?
Yeah, and so maybe this is eventually the path the Oilers will take with Jay Woodcroft, but he's probably at least one. He's a coach away, but that's probably the right time frame for him, 3 or 4 years down there, and maybe he'll be ready. Bruce, I got to do the game grade, so let's leave it there. Thanks for talking tonight.
Yep. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Better luck tomorrow in Ottawa.
And in the meantime, and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.